Well, you know, it really started with Isaiah Campbell tonight. In my opinion, his stuff was electric. For the first 4 or 5 innings, you know, I think he had a perfect game going into the 5th, and you know, only a couple balls really were hit hard, you know, through the first four innings for sure. And Shetty made a nice play up the middle to save a hit, but he's had his fastball going. It looked like it was running downhill to me, and threw a really nice cutter. Only threw a couple of changeups and maybe a couple of sliders, but mostly fastball cutter. And you know, gave us a chance to get out and get a couple runs lead. You know, we left some runs out there, but you know, Isaiah just kept pounding the zone, and you know, credit Florida, they got it going a little bit and got a big hit with 2 outs, and then we had a pass ball that scored another one, and they were right back in the game. But you know, top to bottom, it was a good effort by our team. I thought Casey Martin had an incredible game. I mean, scores 3 runs, knocks in another one. You know, and one of the runs he scored on, he used his instincts and his speed on that chopper. That was a huge run at the time for us. And other than that, I'm just excited we're sitting up here knowing that we get to rest a day or day and a half before we get to play again.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for the student athletes now. And Ted, we'll start with you.
Yep, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Isaiah, can you talk about the mentality you brought into the game? And Wes said it was basically 2 pitches tonight. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I came in with the same mentality that I had for the Super Regional, that every inning was the 9th inning. It was a close situation, and I just went with a fastball cutter today. And it was actually funny because the cutter was the worst pitch in the bullpen. But I found it in the game and just attacked the strike zone and let my defense do the work.
Okay, right here.
Casey, Eric Sullivan with 103.7 The Buzz. You got that double, and I think Carson sent out a tweet. It's all about the front of the jersey, and you kind of showed that at Arkansas, just kind of the team unity for Isaiah today, and took a little bit of everybody to get this one done tonight.
Yeah, you know, Zay pitched a really good game. I know he was wanting it back after, you know, the first outing he had against him, you know, coming out after the first inning. But, yeah, what Carson says, it's not all about what's on the back of your jersey. It's about what's on the front, you know. We're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for these guys up here. And it's a family, so, you know, you do what you can for each other.
Okay, Eric.
Eric Olson with the Associated Press. Isaiah, you mentioned going out with the mentality of, you know, it's a super regional, it's the 9th inning all the time. How much, though, did you find motivation from trying to kind of avenge what happened down in Gainesville with that poor start you had in March?
Yeah, I mean, I had that in the back of my mind when I woke up this morning. I know I didn't help the team at all in that start. It's one of my worst starts of the year. I mean, I didn't think about it too much once I got to the field. I was just all ready for the night and just giving their team a chance to win.
Okay, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Isaiah, I'm just kind of curious about what point in the season that cutter became such a weapon for you, just because I don't remember seeing it as much early. Is that something that materialized over the course of the season, or has that been there for you all along?
The cutter that I had tonight, it's been more of the slider that I've been throwing all year. But I kind of just been working with Coach Johnson in the bullpen to throw with a little bit more conviction, use the hips a little bit more, and since then it's turned into more of a cutter.
Tom.
Matt, could you speak to 3 things? You tied the school saves record, what you thought of Isaiah tonight, and Cole's catch in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, tying the saves record's awesome because, I mean, it means I'm doing my job right. And with Isaiah, I mean, I thought he was electric out there. I mean, he went 4 2/3 perfect. And, I mean, I think he just put us in a good spot to win this game really early and kind of shut him down. And what was that 3rd thing?
Cole's catch.
Cole's, oh, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I think it was first pitch and took a lot of pressure off me right there. I mean, easy out, quick and efficient, and I was just ready to go again.
Teddy Cahill, Baseball America. Casey, as someone who grew up watching Arkansas, what does it mean now to get a chance to play for a national title with the Razorbacks?
I mean, honestly, I never thought, you know, I'd be here, to be honest. I dreamed about it my whole life. I dreamed to play for this team. I dreamed to start my freshman year. And, you know, I'm just super excited to, you know, I guess you say play for these guys. You know, some careers in here, some don't. And, I just want to do what I can for each and one of them. So it's a dream come true.
Aaron?
Casey and Matt, I guess, for either of you guys have had an incredible season. I mean, you won 47 games, but is this right now the best baseball this team has played? It seems like you guys are firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah,
Case,
I mean,
okay, go ahead, Matt.
definitely feel like our team's clicking right now. We're doing well offensively and on the mound and defense. And, I mean, I think it's just the right time to get hot, and I feel like we have a great chance to make a run at this and win it.
Casey?
Yeah, I just have to agree with him. Defense is solid. Pitching is there. Hitting's there. We're not being selfish, basically. We need to bunt. We're going to bunt. Give yourself up for the next guy. And like I said, we're playing as a team, not just, playing as a family, my bad. Not just a team. So I think that's really pushing us and motivating us.
Eric?
Hey, Isaiah, when you got a couple runs scored on you right there, I think everybody was kind of like, wow, but talk about how you got through that. Cook talked about it. He said, man, just calm down and do your thing. Take us through that whenever you got back out of that.
I kind of, in that fifth inning, I kind of got away from throwing with a lot of conviction. Kind of went off the gas pedal just a little bit. Kind of tried to be too fine and just place balls. But me and Grant kind of talked in between innings and just said, hey, just keep going. Just act like it was the first inning and keep throwing with conviction. And, that's what I did. Just pretty much let my defense do all the work tonight. Just throw strikes, throw it over the wide of the plate. They hit it, but I trust my defense.
For Isaiah and Matt, you guys got through this round using your normal rotation, and you didn't really have to do anything out of the ordinary pitching-wise. Can you just speak to that and how important that was?
Isaiah, you start.
It was good. Knowing as a starter, for me, Blaine and Casey, if we get 5-6 innings, we know we're in a really good position with Cronin and Lowski and Scroggins and Reindl. We have all faith in our bullpen, and so getting 3 good starts out of the starters and having the leads going for the bullpen, it was really nice.
Matt?
Yeah, playing less innings is always going to be a lot of help on your staff, and it just allows us to recuperate these next couple days and be ready for the 3-game series coming up.
Yeah, one last question for the student athletes. Eric, you got it.
Whoever wants to answer it among the players, do you guys have a preference? Mississippi State got you guys during the regular season. Oregon State is out there really churning it out offensively right now.
Isaiah, you go.
We don't have a preference. We're just going to do us. We're going to go out, play Arkansas baseball, and just focus on us.
Matt?
I'd love to redeem myself against Mississippi State, but honestly, there's no difference to me.
Casey?
Yeah, they basically said it all. At the end of the day, it's just a game, so you got to show them play the same.
Guys, thank you, and we will see you Monday. We'll wait till they clear, and we'll start questions for Dave. Congratulations, guys. Start with Aaron.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Dave, I remember back at that Kentucky series, you kind of said, I think it was after that doubleheader, you said you considered taking Isaiah out of the rotation going into that series. Just talk about how far he's come going from there to putting together a performance like that to put you in the national championship series.
Well, just kind of going back to the Florida series when he didn't really get out of the second inning. Yeah, he didn't have a good start, but he was hurt. He ended up missing almost a month, and we could see that he was coming back slowly. But, I think with Isaiah, it was more about just lack of experience and maybe not being able to handle a little failure. And he had expectations for himself. We did, the team. And I think it just kind of snowballed on him, and then he started climbing out. He climbing up the hill. And, he didn't have the good start in the regional. And I think that he just worked himself up and got a little nervous. And we could kind of see it before the game even started. And, I think, Coach Johnson and I felt the same way that game, that we know him. And then, the last 2 outings, counting tonight's, was just that's what we thought. That's what we thought we had. And, you know, we kept telling him we got to have you. But he's come a long way. And, you know, from I guess the Florida series to now, I mean, he's, you know, he's a true SEC starter. And any given day, he can shut you down for a while.
Way in the back.
Coach Bobby Swafford, CWS Fayetteville affiliates. What does this mean to you? 7 trips to the College World Series, and now you've got a chance to win a national championship.
Well, I mean, what it means to me is that these players are still playing as hard as they can, and that I really appreciate that. And, you know, like I think Casey said it, they're really playing for each other. They don't want the season to end. They feel like that, you know, we had our best baseball in front of us. We hadn't played our best baseball, you know, a little here, a little there, but really never got on a little bit of a roll. And, I mean, it means a lot to be here, but we still have work to do. So, you know, if we were fortunate enough to win it, then dude, maybe I'd have a different answer for you.
Over here to the left.
Coach Drew Hammond from the NBC in Fayetteville. The first inning, I mean, obviously you've been able to score in the first inning in each game here. Just setting the tone, how important has that been here in Omaha?
Well, it takes a little bit of pressure off your starting pitcher, you know, to get a lead. Can maybe not try to be so fine all the time. If you give up a run, it'll just be tied. You know, that was a big hit by Luke. He fouled off a bunch of pitches. I don't know if he saw 8, 10 pitches. Finally got a base hit to right field. That was nice. Just a great at bat.
Tom?
Dave, against Singer, what is it with your team? I think his ERA is over 11 against you guys in 3 career starts. What approach do you take against him?
He's out of the league, right? He's gone, and we don't have to face him again. You know, we just, you know, our left-handed hitters have really done well against him for the most part. Now, you know, tonight, a couple of the righties, you know, Martin got a few hits off of him, and Luke got a big hit, and he got our lefties out a little bit better, and he really tried to pitch us in tonight, and he did a good job, actually. Only gave up a couple runs to us, maybe an unearned run or two, but really is just to see his slider up. I mean, easier said than done. When you get his fastball, you know, don't miss it. But when he's rolling, he gets you to swing at that slider that starts out, well, we say it's in the tunnel, and then it disappears. And we've done a good job over the last, you know, 2 or 3 times we faced him of not going out of the zone too much, and we've hit some balls on the nose.
Mitch.
Mitch Sherman, ESPN.com. You may have just kind of answered this, but in talking the other day after the Tech game about the confidence in your lineup, I wondered if it does anything more to boost your guys to even another level to do it against Brady Singer, or is he just another guy when he's out there on the mound against Arkansas?
Well, he's not just another guy. You know, he's one of the guys. But we face a lot of those type of guys in our league. I mean, we had to go through some really good teams to sit here tonight. I mean, when you talk about Texas and Texas Tech, and then obviously Florida. You know, we're facing guys throwing hard. They have good secondary pitches. The team's just confident. They think they can hit. We can't hit, but they think they can. And you know, just like tonight, there were 4 or 5 guys in our lineup that didn't do anything, but there were 3 or 4 or 5 that did, and it was enough, you know. But every now and then you have a special night or a weekend when you have 6 or 7 or 8 guys have a good weekend or a game, you're going to score a lot of runs, and we've done that a little bit. You know, the batting averages are hanging in there, and finally getting Dominic Fletcher rolling the last few weeks has been a huge plus for our lineup. You know, obviously Gates starting to come on. I mean, you could go on and on. I mean, Grant Cook's a guy that he's the one who's been struggling. He's been catching great, but, you know, he's a guy that, boy, it should be nice if we could get him rolling on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if needed. So that could really help us.
Tom?
Yeah, I was going to follow up on Fletcher. He hit another home run tonight. Just, I don't know what he's meant to you in these last couple of games. And then also the Cole catch in the foul territory in the stands there in right field. What did you see on that one?
Well, first on Fletcher, Fletcher's he's just comfortable. He hooked one ball foul and maybe his last at bat, and that's what he was doing a lot, early. He didn't crush that ball. He actually mishit it a little bit, but he's seen it good. He flew out to right field on a breaking ball that he just missed it. I mean, he was on it, and it was heading to the gap, and that was good for me to see that, that he didn't jump out there on that breaking pitch. And, sometimes hitters, they just get into a little bit of groove, and he's in it right now. And then Cole's catch was, it was, I think one of the guys said I think it was Cronin. He threw one pitch, and he's got one out. You got the leadoff man out with a 3-run lead with 3 outs to get. We're counting outs in the dugout. We just need outs, and they need base runners, and that got us an out. So it was, after I saw the replay, because we couldn't see it, all of a sudden he disappeared, and then the crowd started going crazy, and then he comes out. And then when we saw the catch, he actually went on that rail and caught that ball. It looks like it would have maybe got into the stand. So he's a good outfielder.
Okay. Eric?
Coach Van Horn, saw you waving at the fans. I know how much they mean to you and your guys. Harnessing all that for Monday, do you have a John Wooden speech ready, or just let's go play some ball? I don't know.
No. I call it the Nuke Rockney speech, but I said that the other day. I told him I didn't have one of those for him. If I got to give you a speech, in Omaha, then, what are we doing here? You should be highly motivated to be here, and I'll talk to him a little bit on Sunday when we practice, but it's overkill, man. It's just time to play. Just let them go. We practice. We know the signs. We know how to run the bases. Sometimes we don't, but we do. We're supposed to. But they know where it's at, and they don't really need to hear me. Tonight, what I told them, because sometimes I'll go out there and I'll say, "Does anybody have anything to say?" I'll come out of it for 60 games trying to find something to say to you guys before the game. But tonight was basically, it was short and sweet. And I just said, I don't care if they have the best player in the SEC, and I don't care if they have the best pitcher in the SEC. We have a good team, and we need to take it to them. That's all I said. And I turned around and left, and they liked it. So, that's a secret for you. There's one for you. So. But I don't have to give him a talk. They're ready to play.
Okay, back here.
Hey, Dave, I think it was after the LSU game in Hoover. You said something to the extent of you took Isaiah Campbell out because sometimes you can just kind of see it unraveling on him. He had that sequence tonight with 2 outs, and you left him in the game. What were your thoughts there, and what did you think about the way that he responded? Yeah,
we responded by getting the out. We were real close. We just felt like, his pitch count was up in the 80s or real close to the 80s, in the 80s. And, we thought, well, it's right in here. Let's just see if he can get him. We still had two or 3 run lead at the time, and he got him. I think that probably gave him a little bit of confidence. And we went out and got him with 2 outs left in the inning and just told him what a great job he did and how proud I was of him. And he threw enough pitches, and I said, hopefully you're going to get to pitch again.
Okay, one last question. Okay, back over here.
Jason Patterson, Island CWS. Coach, you mentioned your league. What does it say about your league that here on the doorstep of a national championship and maybe even in it, you're still facing those familiar faces?
Well, we figured that there was going to be 3 or 4 teams from the SEC make it here. We were hoping that we were one of them, and we figured we'd have to beat a couple of them to get an opportunity to play, those last 2 or 3 games of the season. So it's just the way it is. It's like the old cliche: if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And this field was loaded, and I felt like our bracket was extremely strong, and the other bracket's extremely strong. And there's a lot of good teams that didn't get here that are SEC teams, and some from the other leagues. But we just feel like that we just kind of beat on each other all year. We got swept by Mississippi State, and we played 3 games in less than 24 hours because of the weather, and nothing went our way, and they did everything right, and we walked out of there with our tail between our legs, and we had to fight back. And a lot of people were not happy with us that are fans, and but we didn't listen to it, and we just kept fighting, and we knew that at the end of the year, if we win enough games, we'll get to a regional. We got a chance to prove that we can get to Omaha, which we did.